Hello.
Hi. Welcome to the Red Sofa.
Red Sofa.
So our conversation topic today.
This was a settee once, wasn't it? It's fine. It's moved over, hasn't
You've
it?
converted me.
I've converted
sofa.
you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sofa.
So welcome back. Our topic of conversation today is going to be punctuality. Now, I am a stickler for punctuality.
And I'm looking guilty.
Yeah, I am always on time. In fact, if I was late once for a rehearsal, do you remember? And you thought that something...
I thought she was dead in it.
Yeah, she did. She thought something was... She was really, really worried because I am annoyingly on time or 5-10 minutes early.
So when she's not here, she must be dead. It's quite straightforward, really.
In fact, I tried to be late for my wedding and I couldn't. I was dead on time and I tried really hard to be late.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, and I couldn't. So punctuality, is it something that you're okay with? You know, it's a bit flexible, or is it something?
The thing is, if you turn up to a dinner party, absolutely on time, there is I think a 75% chance that your host will still be running around with the Hoover in their underwear, frantic, having a last row before
unless
you
it's
arrive.
me, and then I'll be
and you'll be
early.
ready. So I feel it's polite to arrive 5 to 10 minutes late. But the thing is, I'm not very good at being on time. Years ago, I must have been 24, 23, something like that. I was living in London. Some members from my church were invited to sing at Canterbury Cathedral. And we had to get down there. This was for the Easter service. We had to get down there. And I was frantically late. And I remember I arrived. And the thing is, if you're late, you have to develop the art of sneaking in. Now, sneaking in, also not my forte. That would have been a good superpower.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I arrived. This cathedral is absolutely packed solid. And I'm at the back door and I've got to make it to the front. And I remember trying to sneak up the right-hand corridor just very quietly. And I slipped over and I fell. And my suitcase, which had music in it, just went all the way up the corridor. And everybody's head in the place went... So I failed to sneak in. And I got up and I was very pink. And I just had to go to the front and sit down and pretend this was all part of a normal process. I have a long history, I think, of being late. And of course, God gave me Kevin, because Kevin's more like you. Kevin will allow plenty of time. The big difficulty I have is that so say for example, I've got to be in Birmingham for 3 o'clock. Say, I'll go, right, what's the length of time it takes to get to Birmingham? But what I don't take into account ever is that last few minutes it takes to get out the door.
Yes.
The last trip to the loo, find the right shoes, find your car keys, find your coat, brush your hair, put your makeup, go to the loo again. Whatever you've got to do.
And the phone call that you cannot not take. So it's like, leave it, Penny. No, I'm just going to get it.
Phone calls are
You're very
coming.
easily distracted.
Am I really?
Yeah.
Okay then.
When we were trying to get ready to do the videoing today, I had sat down, Kevin had set all the camera up and everything, and Penny said, I'll be back in a minute. She just went to get something, so she sat down, and then she went, I'll be back in a minute. And then she went, and then just as we were leaving, she answered the telephone.
And then I think I went and made a call, but it was an emergency call.
Oh, you made a call.
I made a call. So yeah, this is actually a little bit of an issue, isn't it? And there was another story I was going to tell, but I can't remember what the story was now. Obviously in too much of a hurry.
I was late once.
Were you really?
Yeah, it was my husband, because my husband's even worse than me. He actually, we're usually about an hour early when my husband's in charge, which I think is quite rude, because they're definitely not ready.
An hour early.
So we do tend to sit in the car for quite a long time, waiting until an appropriate time to go in. But we were going to a wedding once up in the Lake District, and we had allowed a lot of time, but we hadn't allowed for this major accident, and it took us something like 6 hours to get up to where we were going. Yeah, but we did arrive. We were going to a wedding. We did arrive for the last line of the last verse, and we managed to slip in the back nice and quietly without causing chaos, sing the last line of the last verse, and everybody thought we'd been there the whole time.
That's very impressive.
That was quite impressive.
That's very impressive. And now you've said wedding, that reminds me.
Okay.
The thing was, when Kevin and I got married, I arrived, I think I was probably moderately on time. I was very, very keen to get married to Kevin, I have to say. This was, as far as I was concerned, this was a good thing, and I was not letting him get away. And a friend of ours decided he was going to be my chauffeur. So we arrived in his Saab, and I had a best woman. I had a friend who was my best woman for the day. And we arrived outside, and everybody's in the church, and the vicar of the church came out and he said, right, are you all ready? And I said, yeah, really ready, yeah. And he said, right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk into the church and I want you to follow me in a minute. Now what I interpreted that as is I'm going to walk in and I want you to follow me. So he arrived at the front of the church and he turned around and there's me behind him and he went, what are you doing here? And I said, you told me to follow you. And he said, no, not yet. And,
very keen.
far too keen. And he said to the whole congregation, are we going to make her go out and do it again? And they made me go out.
I would have done.
And come in with a decent amount of decorum. So that was the only time in my life that I did not manage to be late.
So it's got this image of the vicar and you right behind him. I'm here. I do.
I'm not letting him go. So anyway.
That is very funny. So I've been late once and you've been on time or early.
Both to do with weddings. There's something about weddings.
Oh, that is funny. Tell us what you think about punctuality. Does it annoy you? Are you okay with it? Have you got any funny stories that we'd like to hear?
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
People live in poverty, children born in slavery, a world who live on rubbish heaps. You tell me you've got too much to do.